Hi, this is an Americolor video on how carpet dyes work. If you've been interested in doing any carpet dyeing and want to know the basics of how carpet dyes work, you've come to the right place. So, the first thing I'd like to talk about with carpet dyes is that we offer over 70 colors of carpet dye, and you can see a full list on our website, americolordyes.com. Also, the sizes that we offer. We offer a 20-ounce container like this of carpet dye, or we offer a 5-pound container like this of carpet dye. Now, an important thing to know about carpet dyes is that they only work on nylon and wool carpet. Nylon and wool only. So how do we know if we have nylon or wool carpet? Well, most of our professionals out there, they're going to use a Fiber ID test kit just like this that has a variety of chemicals for a couple different chemical tests for fiber construction in the carpet. Most people use the formic acid the most, but this is really only for professionals. If you're a homeowner out there watching and you're wondering if you have nylon or wool carpet, then one of the things I can tell you is that you'll usually know if you have wool carpet because of the price. Most of the time people do not have wall-to-wall wool carpets in their apartments, but they do typically have nylon carpet. And one way you can test at home is just to take a couple tufts of fibers and place them in household bleach overnight for about 8 hours and see if they completely lose their color. If they do completely lose their color, then you're dealing with nylon carpet and you can dye your carpet. But if those tufts sit in bleach overnight and they've lost no color, they look completely the same they did the night before, then your carpet's not nylon and you should not attempt dyeing with any kind of carpet dye. Now, the second thing we need to know about carpet dye is that these powder dyes need to be fully dissolved when we put them in water. So, if your water is hot, which it should be, your water is always supposed to be above 150 degrees Fahrenheit, then those granules are going to fully dissolve. It's just important to make sure they fully get dissolved. Now, how much dye we actually put into our dye bath is really going to depend on what you think. It's going to depend on what color combination you see in the carpet and what color combination you want to make with your dye bath. So simply said, if it's a light color carpet and you want a light color dye bath, then just add a little bit of dye. If you want a dark colored dye bath because you're dealing with a dark color carpet, then add more dye. You never want to go above 1 ounce of dye per 1 gallon of water. I'll show you an example here. So oftentimes we'll just add a little bit of dye to a large amount of water. So this is just a little bit of red dye to this water. Oftentimes for spot dyeing, our solution is going to be about this dark or maybe even lighter. But as you can see, a little bit of dye goes a long way. We're going to add a little bit more dye here so you can actually see the fact that if you want a darker dye bath, then you do need to add more dye. Again, you should never go above 1 ounce of dye to 1 gallon of water. And that's the same for the chemicals as well. Typically we want to use 1 ounce of dye set penetrant and 1 ounce of pH stabilizer per gallon of dye bath. You can see just how dark that solution is now, that dye bath, that dark red. And we haven't even used half an ounce of dye. So this dye goes a very, very long way. So you don't have to use that much dye to have a very dark dye solution. The next thing you need to know is that dyes are translucent and not like paints. They're not pigments. Therefore, when doing any kind of dye work, if you're trying to cover up a stain, let's say, like a dark stain on a beige piece of carpet, you are not going to be able to actually dye over this with beige carpet dye. That black stain there, it's going to be there no matter what. I'll give you an example here. If we take our beige carpet dye and we put our piece of carpet in it and we try to cover up that black stain, nothing's going to happen. The only way we can fix this black stain with carpet dye is to actually dye the entire piece of carpet black, which I don't think you want to do. Let's talk about chemicals for a minute. There are 2 important chemicals you're going to have to use in your dye bath, one of which is pH stabilizer. pH stabilizer brings the pH of your carpet down to the acid side of the pH scale so that the proper bonding of the dye occurs. So pH stabilizer is available in liquid or it's available in powder, and you're going to want to add it directly to your dye bath to lower that pH. Ideal pH for carpet dyeing is between 2 to 4. A second chemical you're going to want to use is dye set penetrant. This is a leveling agent, which is actually going to make sure your dye goes on very evenly, and it's also going to help the dye to bond with the actual carpet. So dye set penetrant and pH stabilizer are the two chemicals you need actually in your dye bath. One chemical I'm sure you've heard about is bleach neutralizer. That is going to go directly on any bleach spots you have. Bleach neutralizer must be used on bleach spots or they will come back. And it is available in liquid or in powder as well. So make sure to use that first. You do not have to heat up bleach neutralizer, and you do not have to extract bleach neutralizer. A couple other chemicals you should know about, just in case any mistakes happen or if you want to blend your dye at all, is the dye pen remover. The dye pen remover can actually blend any small mistakes. It can actually blend colors as well too. It's really useful on side match jobs, and we sell it in larger forms as well, in pints. So you can fill up these pens, or you can just apply it directly to a towel and then put that on the carpet. But dye pen removers should always be in a spot dyer's pocket when they're doing a dye job. For any small mistakes, this works great. Very easy to use, and you don't have to heat it up at all. Now CR2 is for our bigger mistakes. If you ever have any spilled carpet dye, or you simply just don't like the way the dye job came out, this is where you use CR2. And we have another video on our website about CR2 and exactly how to use it. I hope that you visit our website, AmeriColorDyes.com, and go to the videos section, because we have lots of other videos there about full room dyeing, spot dyeing, and other chemicals that we have. Hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.